Hi folks, this is Jay. Hope you're okay today. We're looking at atheist scholars, and we're looking at what they have to say about historical Jesus studies. We're looking at the Bayes theorem. The Bayes theorem is a methodology used by Richard Carrier. Richard Carrier is an atheist, and he attacks that Jesus didn't rise from the dead and Jesus didn't exist. In a debate, James White asked Dominic Crossan about bias in historical method. Dominic Crossan replied, "We have presuppositions, but we also have data." The resurrection debate, Crossan and Borg v. White and Renihan. This debate took place on board ship 2005 in the Gulf of Alaska. YouTube channel Dr. Oakley 1689. He implied that we can get to the historical data even with bias. I agree with Crossan, but he failed to highlight, as Dr. White wanted to do, that our presuppositions in historical inquiry are a problem. Most of us, even scholars, are not aware how we shape the historical material to suit our agenda. What bias do you bring to the table? How are they shaping you? Your bias shaping you as you look at the material. What steps have you taken to make sure your bias don't get in the way? What presuppositions still remain on the table, all said and done? As we have looked at the history of historical Jesus studies and the New Atheist, we all have to be more conscious of our bias, be more honest and upfront about it, or if not, we will just go around in circles confirming what we want to believe, rather than letting the evidence speak for itself. Scholars can try and trick the public into thinking they are more objective than they are. An example is a scholar who uses the Bayes theorem, such as the atheist Dr. Richard Carrier, in proving Jesus did not rise from the dead. This theorem tries to show how the conditional probability of each set of probable causes for an observed outcome can be logically deduced from knowledge of the probability of each cause and the conditional probability of the outcome of each cause. To be fair, it must also be noted that the evangelical scholars also use the Bayes theorem to prove their case for the resurrection. The Bayes theorem can be used by both sides to give the public the feel that what is being said is all scientific. Susan Hack, an atheist, has given a great lecture in warning us about using science as some authority to give our ideas more kudos than in reality science does not actually substantiate or remains neutral. Susan Hack, Six Signs of a Scientist. Six Signs of Scientist. Dr. Hack's talk at the Rotman Institute of Philosophy at the University of Western Ontario on January 7, 2011. Engages scientism, the view that natural science is the most authoritative way of looking at the world and is superior to other interpretations of life. We can see in the case of Dr. Richard Carrier that he already thinks Jesus is a myth, but he uses Bayes' theorem to make people think he is being objective in historical work. Bayes' theorem and modern historian proving history. Bayes' theorem and the modern historian. This is the article. Proving history requires improving methods of Dr. Richard Carrier. What Dr. Richard Carrier fails to tell people is the theorem is not used by most historians and is subjective in many cases when used for the historical task. The great difficulty, quote, about applying the theory is that it is often not at all clear what value should be given to the prior probability. David Bartholomew, statistician, page 117 in The Resurrection of Jesus, Mike Licona, IVP. Another quote, thus, the Bayes theorem is subjective, Dr. Bartholomew, page 117, in Licona. Dr. McLeod writes, virtually no historian has used it, page 117, in Licona. It's unclear how Bayes' theorem can be worked out in practice, Dr. Tucker, page 117, in Licona's book, The Resurrection of Jesus. So I've given you the citations and the scholarly information there to prove beyond a doubt that we've seen 5 major scholarly atheists completely ill-equipped to deal with historical Jesus studies. So you must be very wary when the atheist community are attacking your faith and attacking the Gospels and the New Testament. They're very, very behind in the scholarship. So don't feel threatened, okay?